Changing this aspect of your gameplay will keep you from dying. Stop rushing fights, because this is how you die to opponents that you are easily better than. If I had to gamble, I'd bet most of you watching die to opponents worse than you a lot because you rush fights. By rushing a fight, you sacrifice some vital aspects of safe gameplay, like protected peaks, escape routes, even height. When you're trying to push someone's box to end the fight quickly, you risk dying to a player because they hit a lucky shot. So here's how to stop doing that. I'll drop you some quick tips and then some in-game examples of me taking longer fights and not rushing. First quick tip. Early and mid-game, have a white heal and something for rotation so zone doesn't become a problem. I notice all the time that in mid-game, people underutilize the importance of white heals. They only carry shield and then they push or get pushed right before zone starts moving and then they're on the ropes. They'll then feel like they need to rush the fight so they don't die to storm. You can get a huge advantage in this situation by bringing a white heal and something for rotation so you can draw out fights longer. Then if zone starts to become a problem, you can stay confident while the other person will start to rush and make a mistake. People always only bring shield because they feel like they'll get cracked, so they need to shield up. But if you take safe peeks, then you won't lose that much shield and you can play those white meds, which brings me to tip number 2, play protected peeks. This is obvious, but for example, instead of dropping onto a stair in front of someone's wall, just play a protected wall take, or peek and don't take damage. It's not worth baiting an edit for a big shot when you'll likely take the brunt of the hit. So if you play your protected peeks, you don't have to bring as much shield, then can bring a white med and you can combine tip 1 and 2. And for tip 3, it's okay to burn mats rebuilding walls. If you're on defense, keep rebuilding those walls again and again and again. This is a super annoying way to play, so the enemy will likely start to get tired of fully protected hits and just go for speed hits. At this point, surprise them with an edit and a shot. Again, this is super annoying, so you will catch them with their pickaxe out if you rebuild enough walls. 4, with that being said, don't surprise them with a 50-50. If you expect the player is worse than you, then you're already at an advantage, and there is no reason to 50-50 with an advantage. Even if you surprise them with a phase or by jumping out at them, if you miss that shot, then you're about a second of time advantage, or whatever it may be, is gone, and you now have shotgun delay. So don't rush. You can surprise them with a protected edit and a shot. There is no reason to 50-50. Now let me walk you through examples of all of these in a real ranked game, Elite to Unreal lobbies. So this is a fight that I somehow miraculously survived. I was on top of the boss POI at Reckless Railway and I get beamed in the back. Like always, this just happens, but now I'm super low, 60 HP, I have no extra shield, but I do have medkits. This is also what I mean by play protected peeks. I edited my cone, jumped up, and shot him. At no point is he able to see me doing that peek. I'm at low HP, so I can't risk getting hit, so I have to do fully protected peeks like that. I then start to shoot at the boss, and instantly I'm shot again in the back by someone else. This just happens when you're at medallion POIs. I hear zone behind me, so I get kind of worried about dying to zone, but then I realize that I still have medkits. So if this goes into a zone fight, I will be okay, and I can be confident about pushing this guy, build fighting, and taking my time with this fight. My thought process at this time is I need to show confidence. I can't play scared. Because if I start playing scared, going to my medkits, then this guy will just pressure me and I lose any advantage. So I'm able to take height, I'm building in metal, so I'm pretty okay off except for my health. Now earlier in this video, I told you to not do this. Don't drop onto your stair and wait for them to edit because this is just a bad peek. Although this is the one exception to that because he didn't have anything inside of his box. This is a protected peek because if he makes an edit, I can slam a stair right over him if I miss the shot or hit the shot, and I can still be safe. So always have a protected peek in mind. Don't do this if they have a cone in their box or a stair in their box because you will die. That fight went long, so zone did start moving, but I remembered a grapple hook that I saw earlier, which goes back to that first tip I was talking about. You don't have to worry about zone if you have white heals like I did. If I had been worried about zone, I might have rushed that fight a lot more and possibly would have died, when in the end, it worked out because I had my white meds and I had a rotation device. I now want to show you a late game example of, again, why you need to have medkits. Zone is currently moving and I see someone below me, so I start shooting at him. He boxes up and he must have 0 ping because I can't even phase through the top of his floor, and I was really struggling to even take his floor. It took me like like 10 attempts. Zone at this time is 2 ticking, but I'm not worried because I have 2 medkits, so I might be able to play this out. It then starts 5 ticking, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pop medkits. So I start popping these, and I think I'm gonna be fine, but he actually has a medkit too. Another reason why you need to start carrying them so you don't die to your enemies being confident. He actually then runs out and starts looking for more meds in zone and actually finds a medkit over there, so I have to stop popping mine because I know he's gonna have the advantage. Fortunately for me, he wasn't able to get the medkit off in time and died in zone, and I got the points. This is an example of me ratting at the medallion POI, and I got this guy super lit. That means I had the health advantage even though I wasn't at a full 200. If this guy watched the video, he would have known not to do this sort of peek when he's super low, but for me, I didn't have to do the safest peek because I had the health advantage. Thus, killing him was an easy cleanup. Although for the sake of this video, I also want to show you an example of when I rushed to fight and how it negatively affected me. And before I get into the nitty-gritty details of this game, if my tips have helped you out, I would really appreciate a little good like on the video, and for more wisdom, invest into the channel. And final tip before I show you what I learned from my mistakes is code reidtheninja grants a longer life. Now on to the game. This guy just kept running. He would shockwave after shockwave after shockwave, which is really annoying because he wasn't even necessarily weak, so I kind of thought he was a little bit of a bitch for running when he had plenty of health to fight. I hadn't cracked his shield or anything, and he just kept running. But this is the thing, because of my greed, I got baited in and rushed this fight, and I got hit big. So after getting hit big, I started making space, creating boxes, and he actually got inside somehow. I was able to build up a couple layers and heal back up with the shield that I had. I then knew I was weak, so I wasn't doing any crazy peeks. I was doing safe wall retakes diagonally and from a box away so I could be as safe as possible. Although when I kept scuffing edits, I kind of got annoyed with this fight and just wanted it to be over. So instead of doing a smart approach, repositioning, I just ran straight at this guy's face with a gray auto shotgun. Not the best loot, and I paid the price for it. And I don't see a lot of YouTubers ever go over their mistakes in videos, so if you like this transparency and it helps you learn a little better, I can continue to make these types of videos if you invest into me. This video is me learning about what I did wrong in the cash cups and showing you my mistakes, and this video goes over my first month back on YouTube if that interests you. I talk about my analytics, revenue, watch time, etc., and of course it's all Fortnite related. Use code reidtheninja. I'd love to see some more supporters on my dashboard, and on that note, I'm signing off.